Hello, 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 and welcome back to AI Café Conversations. This is Sahar, your AI whisperer. And today I need to address something that has been coming up in almost every executive conversation I have lately. Just yesterday, a CEO called me and said, Sahar, I thought AI was supposed to make my life easier. Instead, I have 12 different AI tools, 3 subscriptions, and I feel more scattered than ever. What's wrong with me? Actually, nothing is wrong with him. His brain is responding exactly as it should to what neuroscientists call cognitive tool overload. He's on overload, like an engine, overload. So today we are diving into why more AI tools often feel like less control and how your executive brain can regain command and control. This is not about technology. This is not about it, right? It's about your brain relationship with complexity. By the end of this episode, you will understand why your neural complexity or circuits are fighting against the very tools meant to help you and what to do about it. So last week, a marketing director told me something fascinating, okay, that I'm going to be sharing with you. She said, I have ChatGPT for writing, Claude for analysis, Midjourney for images, Notion AI for organization, and Grammarly for editing. I have a confession to make. I kind of use the same exact thing. Anyhow, I spent more time, she said, deciding which tool to use than actually working. For me, it comes to me very automatic, and I'm going to give you what I do. What I do is I use mainly ChatGPT and Anthropic Claude, right? So Claude for me is the masculine energy, the strategic platform, very brainiac, very straight to the point. And they just added memory to it, though it's only to Teams. It has not been expanded yet to people that have the regular subscription of $20. But you can ask it to memorize some of the conversations, or you can bring the conversation to the memory, and it's acquiring some memory for the projects as well. I use ChatGPT for feminine energy when I need something from the heart, when I need something emotional, when I need human connection. ChatGPT is honestly the best of it. And believe it or not, I still like ChatGPT 4 than ChatGPT 5, though I'm letting my ChatGPT 4 train my ChatGPT 5, but that's another discussion. Anyhow, I use Perplexity only when I need citations and credible resources. I use Gamma for my slides and my presentations. I use Notion for organization. I don't really use Grammarly. And for images, I use either, I used to use Firefly, but I don't use it anymore. It's a little bit more complicated for me. I don't know how to use Midjourney, to be very honest. I use Canva, or I even use ChatGPT for my images, just to let you know more or less what I do. So coming back to the marketing director I was talking about, her brain was experiencing what researchers call decision fatigue multiplication. And here is what's happening in a neurological way. Your prefrontal cortex, like I always say, this is your brain executive center, has limited processing power. It's like a CPU on a computer. It has a limited processing power. Every time you face a choice between AI tools, you are using precious cognitive resources. Multiply that by dozens of daily decisions, and you have exhausted your mental energy before lunch. But here is where it really gets interesting. A financial advisor recently asked me, why do I feel anxious when I open my AI dashboard? I actually should feel empowered, shouldn't I? Here, his amygdala, or the brain alarm system, was interpreting tool abundance as threat abundance. When you see 12 different options, your ancient brain does not think opportunity. It thinks too many variables to track safely. So that's where danger comes from. Because remember, our brain reacts and tries to protect us from any danger, real or perceived. So when it sees so many things that we have to take a decision, we lose somehow, or it loses some of its safety. So it will look at that actually as danger. This creates what I call tool overwhelm cascade. Your brain releases cortisol in response to choice complexity, which impairs decision making. Obviously, cortisol floods your brain, stress overload, right? Burnout, which leads to tool switching, which creates more cortisol. And it's a vicious neurochemical cycle. I told another executive last week, your brain evolved to handle about 7 pieces of information simultaneously. AI tool ecosystems often present 20 to 30 decision points per task. She replied, no wonder, I feel like my head is going to explode. The solution isn't using fewer tools. It's understanding how your brain processes tool selection and building what I call cognitive containers around your AI workflow. A manufacturing CEO shared something that stopped me actually in my tracks. He said, I used to feel in control when everything was manual. Now I have AI doing things faster and better, but I feel completely out of control. Why? And by the way, I like to, whenever I have a session, coaching sessions, or even a brainstorming session, I always like to come back and write down notes so I can share them with you, and I can even like kind of think about it, how I can make it better for my clients. So going back to why people feel that the manual way that they used to use before is the better way, because they were in control. But this is the control illusion trap. And it's pure neuroscience. Your brain equates predictability with control. When you manually wrote emails, made spreadsheets, or analyzed data, every step was manual, or every step was visible and predictable. Your neural pathways knew exactly what came next, so your brain did not analyze anything as danger that it needs to protect you from. AI tools compress dozens of steps into seconds. Your brain can't track the process, so it interprets this as loss of control, even when outcomes improve dramatically. A consultant told me I can generate a presentation in 10 minutes that used to take me 4 hours, but sometimes feels wrong about it. I feel like I'm cheating. Her brain was grieving the loss of step-by-step visibility. Here is what's fascinating. Your interior cingulate cortex monitors for prediction errors. When AI produces results you couldn't have predicted, this brain region fires warning signals. Not because anything is wrong, but because the process exceeded your mental model. I explained to another real estate executive, your brain needs to rebuild its control framework around AI capabilities and not human limitations. And he asked me, how do I do that? The key is creating what neuroscience calls process anchors. Process anchors. Instead of controlling every step, you control the inputs, parameters, and quality checks. Your brain learns to find control in orchestration rather than execution. A project manager discovered this naturally. She said, I stopped trying to understand how AI writes my reports and started focusing on perfecting my prompts. Suddenly, I felt in control again. Remember, it's all in the prompts. Garbage in, garbage out. So work more on perfecting, excelling in your prompts. And remember, there is prompt engineering, which is the science of the prompts, and there is prompt chaining, when you take part by part and you dig deep into whatever AI gave you. Actually, today I met with 2 clients and they were complaining from AI that, okay, I get all these answers and I don't know which part to take, and they had like different subjects on different chats, different something on different documents, and their brain was not connected, the link between all of them. Why? Because they just copied and pasted whatever AI was giving them or ChatGPT is giving them. That's not what ChatGPT is for. ChatGPT gives you the bare bones. ChatGPT or Claude give you the blueprint. But it's your knowledge that attracts your client. It's your knowledge that people listen to. You don't copy and paste, and you don't use AI as Google search. It doesn't work that way. After the session with my client today, he was like, oh my God. And in the beginning, believe it or not, he got irritated with me because I told him, I don't know what kind of prompts you're putting to get that. He goes, well, I did what you told me to do. And I'm like, what did I tell you to do and how did you execute it? Remember, it's about how we execute the prompts, how we put it together. And after we finished the exercise, he was all smiles because we had all the answers he basically needed within the hour. So going back to how to do the prompts, your brain can accept compressed processes if it owns the boundaries and standards. Control shifts from micromanagement to strategic direction. The most expensive mistake executives make with AI is tool switching. And your brain pays the price every time. A technology director described his morning routine. I start with ChatGPT for emails, switch to Claude for strategic thinking, jump to Jasper for marketing copy, then back to ChatGPT for different prompts. By 10 a.m., my brain feels fried, and for a good reason. He was experiencing what neuroscience called task switching residues. Each tool change requires your brain to unload one context and reload another. That cognitive switch costs about 25 minutes of mental energy, even for brief transitions. Here is the hidden cost. Your brain doesn't just switch tools, it switches between entire thinking frameworks. ChatGPT requires one prompt style, Claude another, Jasper a third. Each switch forces your prefrontal cortex to rebuild its operating model. I had a startup founder ask me, I thought using the best tool for each task would maximize efficiency. Then I asked her to track her actual output versus perceived effort. She was shocked to discover that single tool days produce 3 times more work with half the mental fatigue. So channel your work. Take one task at a time, one platform at a time, so your brain doesn't have to keep switching, loading and unloading. But here is where most executives make a critical error. They think the solution is finding one perfect AI tool. Wrong. The solution is building what I call cognitive workflows that minimize context switching. I worked with a law firm partner who was drowning in AI tools. We mapped his daily tasks and found patterns. Writing tasks in the morning, analysis after lunch, client communication in evening, instead of switching tools by task type, he switched by time blocks. His productivity doubled within a week. The neuroscience is very clear. Your brain prefers depth over breadth. 20 minutes with one AI tool beats 5 minutes, each with 4 different tools. Your neural networks need time to optimize around each tool's patterns and capabilities. Here is a question that reveals everything about your relationship with AI productivity. Are you trying to master tools or sample capabilities? I had a venture capital executive told me, I try every new AI tool that launches, and a lot of you do that, okay? I have accounts with 47 different platforms. When I asked about his proficiency with any single tool, he paused. I am probably using each one at about 20% capacity. His brain was stuck in what psychologists call novelty addiction. The dopamine hit from trying new tools was overriding the deeper satisfaction of mastery. But here is the neuroscience twist. Superficial tool knowledge actually increases cognitive load. When you barely know a tool, your working memory holds both the task and the tool learning simultaneously. To have a complex conversation while learning a new language, your brain maxes out quickly. I asked a consulting firm CEO, what if you became genuinely expert at 3 AI tools instead of dabbling with 30? 6 months later, she reported breakthrough results. Deep tool knowledge had freed her brain to focus on strategic thinking rather than operational figuring out. But there is a deeper issue here. A hedge fund manager said something profound. I realized I have been treating AI tools like a buffet instead of ingredients for mastery. Your brain craves competence. When you achieve genuine skill with an AI tool, your confidence networks activate. You feel capable, creative, and most importantly, in control. Surface level tool sampling triggers the opposite: incompetence anxiety and decision paralysis. The research on expertise is clear. Your brain needs approximately 40 hours of deliberate practice to develop fluency with complex tools. Most executives spend 40 minutes, not hours, with each new AI platform and wonder why nothing sticks. I challenged one of them to spend 1 month mastering a single AI writing tool. Her response was, best productivity decision I have ever made in years. I finally feel like AI is working for me instead of confusing me. So, how do you reset your brain's relationship with AI productivity? Here is the protocol I have developed through working with hundreds of executives. Week 1, AI tool audit. List every AI tool you currently use. Most executives discover they have accounts with 15 to 20 platforms, but actively use 3 to 4. Your brain has been maintaining cognitive overhead for tools you barely touch. Week 2, the 3 tool rule. Select 3 AI tools maximum. 1 for communication, 1 for analysis, 1 for creation. Cancel or pause everything else. Your brain needs permission to forget unused framework. Week 3, deep dive. Spend entire work sessions with single tools. No switching, no sampling. Your neural pathways need concentrated exposure to build fluency and confidence. Week number 4, workflow integration. Map your daily tasks to your 3 tools in time blocks, not task types, like I said before. Morning writing with tool A, afternoon analysis with tool B, evening communication with tool C. I asked some of my executives to implement this protocol, and this is what they reported. For the first time in months, I feel like AI is actually making me more productive instead of more scattered. The key insight, your brain treats AI tools like team members. You wouldn't hire 12 assistants and give each one fragmented attention. You had hired 3 excellent people and invest in deep working relationships. The productivity anxiety you feel around AI isn't a personal failing. It's a predictable brain response to cognitive overload. Your neural circuits are doing exactly what they evolved to do: protect you from overwhelming complexity. The solution isn't more tools or better tools. It's working with your brain's natural patterns instead of against them. Depth beats breadth. Mastery beats sampling. Consistency beats novelty. Remember, AI productivity isn't about having access to every capability. It's about developing genuine competence with the capabilities that matter most to your work. Next week, we are exploring the neuroscience of AI feedback, why algorithm criticism hits your brain differently than human criticism, and how to process it productively. And I'm going to share with you a personal story that happened about that with Claude. So until then, try the 3-tool rule. Your overwhelmed prefrontal cortex will thank you. This is Sahar, your AI whisperer, signing off from AI Café Conversations. Sometimes less really is more, especially when it comes to your brain. Show me some love. Like, subscribe, share the podcast with someone that needs to hear it. If you have any questions or any comments, or you want me to speak about any subject on AI, email me at sahar@saharconsulting.com. You can get me on LinkedIn, Sahar Andrade, or on Instagram, Sahar the Reinvent Coach. I hope I can hear from you soon. I love you. Out for now.